It's 2025 and we have a brand new V17 or 9A first ascent to talk about. This one comes to us from Elias Iagnemma, who recently completed a 35-session bouldering project, calling it the Big Slamm. He describes it this way: the intensity is very similar to that of Burden of Dreams, but with much more adverse environmental conditions. Elias, of course, having sent Burden of Dreams in March of last year. The Big Slamm is located at the Tintorale bouldering area near Abruzzo, Italy, the same area where Elias established his previous hardest first ascent, Ganesh 8C or V16. We'll dive into all the details and talk about some other climbing news, including Bosi, who appears to be positioned to repeat an unrepeated 9B plus sport climb very soon. My name is August. Welcome to August Climbing. I hope that the title of this video doesn't come across as too dramatic. If you follow climbing closely on Instagram, you may have heard of the Big Slamm, but especially over on YouTube, there doesn't seem to be much info about it. Partly because the first ascent footage hasn't been released yet, but there is a date announced for that, which we'll talk about soon. Anyway, I'm curious, is this video your first time hearing about the Big Slamm V17? Let me know in the comments. And let's take a closer look now. Iagnemma posted about the Big Slamm project several times this past November, giving us a glimpse into this sandstone boulder. He reported being able to finally do the boulder in 2 parts, while noting how much the conditions, rain specifically, have factored into his projecting process. For context, if you're not already aware, climbing on wet sandstone is not a great idea since sandstone gets weaker when it's wet and can lead to broken holds on climbs. But I digress. Iagnemma's patience and persistence paid off because on January 15th, he shared on Instagram the Big Slamm V17/9A first ascent. What a dream. After a year and a half of attempts and in a total of 35 sessions, I managed to get to the bottom of this king line, my king line. It was truly a crazy fight between conditions, mind, and body. Many times I thought about throwing in the towel because I thought it was impossible to link all those extreme moves. The boulder is divided into a first 8A boulder movement, a second 8A hard boulder movement, and ends with a stand start of 8B/plus. It is incredible how it is a precise climb where every part of the body, shoe, and flap of skin must deform perfectly in those minimal sandstone holds. Regarding the grade evaluation, I feel like giving it V17/9A since the intensity is very similar to that of Burden of Dreams, but with much more adverse environmental conditions, since it is located in a valley where the humidity rate is very often at very high levels and finding the right conditions remains really difficult. I'm really happy with this climb of mine and to be able to share it with the entire climbing community. That said, I now hope that some top climbers decides to take a nice trip to southern Italy, soon the video and other news. I also hope we get to see some other top climbers go try this boulder, maybe Bosi. In terms of Iagnemma's first ascent video, this teaser tells us to tune in on February 9th. And what's next for Iagnemma? Well, he shared that in March he plans to try Spots of Time, Aidan Roberts' V17 or 9A first ascent in the UK. We will definitely keep an eye out for that, and congrats to Elias Iagnemma for sending the first V17 or 9A boulder in Italy. We've got more exciting climbing news to cover, and I also want to give you an update on how I've been using this training device, the CC Natural Prime, at home and in the gym. This is from Climbing Culture, the sponsor of today's video. The Natural Prime has 2 sides, this 20mm natural edge and the 15mm in-cut edge. Let me show you how I use it at home. First is a simple and quick setup with a carabiner and a sling. And when I'd like to know how hard I'm pulling, I add in this crane scale that I found on Amazon. This has proved to be a great way to do a bit of finger training at home in between climbing sessions, and I can tell that my fingers are getting stronger, which is exciting. At the gym, the concept is similar, but usually I'll hang weight from the Natural Prime instead of just pulling, and I'll do this as a warm-up before my session. Climbing Culture has been sponsoring my videos since September, and the Natural Prime as well as this chalk brush have by far been the most popular products. You will not be disappointed by picking these up, and as an August Climbing viewer, you get a special 10% discount on your Climbing Culture order with code AUGUST. Strong fingers, plus discount, plus support the channel. Sounds good to me. The link is in the description, and thank you guys so much for your support. In other V17 news, we've got an update on 2 Las Vegas area boulders, return of the Sleepwalker, and Shaolin. Simon Lorenzi is visiting the US and continues to work on both Return of the Sleepwalker and Shaolin. As one commenter put it, it's good to have side V17 project to take a rest from main V17 project. Kai Whaley continues to share videos on his YouTube channel about these 2 projects, especially on Return of the Sleepwalker. He appears very close to sending. I'll link to his latest video so you can see what I mean. Noah Wheeler's send footage of Return of the Sleepwalker is now live. I will link to that. In regards to Shaolin, Noah shared on Instagram good links on Shaolin V17. I've had 3 sessions on this amazing rig now. The section in the video is around a V15 2-mover. I have to link an intense V13 intro into this for the full line. The intro, aside from being difficult in itself, taxes my power for the later section, making the crux jump, which must be executed with near perfect accuracy, significantly harder from the bottom. So with several top climbers projecting these 2 boulders, I anticipate we will see more V17 sends in Nevada very soon. Ready for an insane bouldering flash attempt? On January 15th, Nikolai Yuznik shared Forgotten Gem 8C V15 second go. Really needed a break off Elfane since the last few days conditions were really bad for the crux part. Decided to try this one today and gave a good flash attempt. A bit of a shame it didn't work out, but still super psyched to have climbed it right after. To my knowledge, while several climbers have flashed V14 or 8B+, no climber has yet flashed V15, but Nikolai sure got close here. George Parma also sent Forgotten Gem V15 or 8C, sharing on Instagram recently. Today, everything came together and I could finally send my long-term project in Toronto. Thanks to all the people that came along or shared a session with me over the last 3 seasons. Austin Hoyt has sent Lucid Dreaming V15 or 8C, sharing on Instagram. This piece of rock allowed me to grow as a person in so many ways. It taught me how to persevere to the fullest. It proved to me that if I set out to do something, I can do it. Things I would have imagined as impossible could be possible. In sport climbing news, let's start off with the legendary Chris Sharma, who just put up a first ascent of one of his hardest deep water solos to date. Check this out. Vision Quest first ascent 9A+? One of my best and hardest climbs I've ever done. Along with Espantes and Black Pearl, it's one of the 3 hardest deep water solos. Sustained and bouldery the whole way. Can't wait for others to come and try. Alex Megos has also been on a roll recently in Margalef in Spain, sending 9B/plus and also flashing 9A. So let's see what he had to say about these 2 climbs. First off, Tuareg Blanco 9B/plus. I came to Margalef with this one route in mind. I didn't really know if it was possible in the amount of time I had, but I wanted to give it everything. Almost 3 weeks later and 11 days of trying, plus 4 days some years ago, I managed to clip the chains of this legendary project. For some additional context on this route, Alex shared, the crux starts from the ground and ends with a final jump to a potato. In 2014, Adrian Boulan bolted Tuareg Blanco 9B/plus, a 25-meter line through the cobblestone conglomerate of Margalef's Espadelles wall. The 22 moves of non-stop climbing saw attempts from strong climbers like Ramon Julian, but remained unclimbed until my 3-week trip this winter. The first real crux revolves around a mono and leads right up to the second crux without any rest. It's a very unique route in Margalef. The climbing through the mix of slopey pockets and crimps feels like limestone. For sure, it is a special route. But Alex Megos wasn't done yet. A flash of Mr. Big, 9A, was to follow. Megos explained, the day after making the first ascent of Tuareg Blanco was also productive. After watching multiple people on Mr. Big for the past 2 weeks, I felt ready to give it a solid flash go. I'm not sure about the grade as I've only tried it once. It definitely fits my style very well, and I think I'm in decent shape at the moment. I'll let other people decide on the grade. Most importantly, it's a super fun route to climb. And for our final piece of climbing news today, Will Bosi is back on Stefano Gazzelfi's Excalibur 9B Plus or 515C. This line is located near Arco, Italy. Gazzelfi completed the first ascent in February 2023, and though nearly 2 years have passed, it remains unrepeated. Will Bosi appeared to be getting close to sending Excalibur near the end of 2023, but then shifted his focus to bouldering projects for most of 2024. But now he appears extremely close to repeating it, sharing breakthrough session on Excalibur 9B Plus/515C today. Firstly, I think I now have the perfect beta thanks to climbing Jane. Then secondly, I matched my previous high point from last trip, considering conditions weren't the best too. Definitely feels closer than ever, and I can't wait to try again. So yes, fingers crossed and best of luck to Will Bosi. Hopefully this will be the headline story of the next episode. Don't forget to head over to climbingculture.shop to pick up the CC Natural Prime and of course this awesome climbing brush. And hey, my name is August. Thank you so much for watching.